PC, you have to put animations into Capcut PC, bringing it to life. All right, it's super easy to do, and we're going to be doing that using Keyframe and the puppy cute dog we have here. So to do that, what we have to do is we have the dog in the frame already. We are going to go to basics and we're going to do position keyframe. We're going to be adding keyframe by clicking on this semi triangle here, and we are just going to bring it to life. Okay, so we are just going to bring the image to life. Remember, she's moving, they are moving, but our puppy is not moving. So we're going to be using keyframe to animate it and bring it to life, and I'm going to show you how to do it step by step. So the first step is we want to be at the beginning. That's where we'll start from, and then we'll put in our first keyframe. Okay, position keyframe, and then we can move this either by moving this like so, adding little scale to it. Okay, we add a little scale to it, then we can add another keyframe here. Okay, and then we can move this again and reduce the scale and add another keyframe. And then we can also just press on our shift key and move our cursor front or back to go frame by frame like so. And then we can add another keyframe here again, and then we can just move it again, and then we have it there, moving, keyframe added. We can move again, and this time we can go on to add positioning and rotational keyframe. So we'll add the positioning and we'll add rotational keyframe, and then we move again, and then we're going to scale down, right, and add positioning and rotational keyframe. But for the rotational keyframe, I'm just going to move it a bit like so, and then I'll do it again at the end, and then I would rotate it down again to 0. Okay, as you can see, we've added that, and we've also added a positional keyframe. So now if we go to the beginning, this is how it's going to look. Let's play it from this part, and this is how it's going to look. Let's play it and see. Okay, as you can see, we'll make them move. Okay, so it should also increase, but then it did not increase because we had some other keyframes we didn't really see it have effect, which was supposed to have effect. It was supposed to have that effect when we zoom in and all, but if you check to the end, you see we had a rotational movement and we gave it a movement. So we can just delete all again, or let me bring in another image so I can just show you how to do the zoom, the position on it without making use of this particular one. So I'll just bring in another image. Okay, let's use this cute puppy we have here. So we just bring that into. Okay, so now we have that. Let's take it here, and we'll just reduce this. Okay, so now we have this one. All right, so now I'm going to do the positioning keyframe on this one. All right, to just show you how it's going to look. Let me take it to this clip, because I don't want it appearing on that other one. Okay, so let's put it there. Okay, so we have the dog there. So now we're going to go to remove background and just get that background removed. Right, so now we have the dog, and then let's move the dog to the side again, like so. And now we're going to add position keyframe to this, and it should work this time. Let's go back to basics, position keyframe. So position keyframe is supposed to be moving left to right, front to back. You get what I'm trying to say. So let's do that. So add one position, we'll press down our shift key and move a frame, and then we can move it again. Okay, so you see it has added another keyframe. We move again, and we can put it back again. It adds another keyframe, and we can go on like that. For the scale, what I was trying to do there is we're supposed to add the keyframe to the scale and not to the positioning. Positioning is one. If we want to add to the scale, I'm going to show you how to do that. Watch with me. That's why it's good to watch every lecture to the end. So let's continue with the positioning first. Okay. So now we do that again. It adds another keyframe, and then to the end, would add another keyframe, just like that. Perfect. So now we can go to the beginning again and then add scaling keyframe. So under scale, we click on the triangle to add the first keyframe. We reduce again. Okay, we move to this part. We scale it down the more. Right, so we have the scaling keyframe, and I'm putting it directly on the other ones we already have. Okay, so it's going to give it that live. It's going to animate the cute pets perfectly, as you can see. And then when we go on and play it at the end, you have the perfect animation done. And you can use this for names, for videos, for a lot of things. It's super easy. So now let's play it and let's see what the final result looks like. Okay. Here you go. It's that simple, not complicated. That is how to animate in Capcut PC using Keyframe. I hope you enjoyed this lecture, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed.